Right guys, hello. Believe it or not, this year it's been 25 years since the original release of Doom. God, I feel old. I remember playing it when it originally released, but to help us celebrate the 25th anniversary, John Romero has released Sigil, an unofficial 5th chapter to the original game, and it's free to all of us, so that is awesome. Thank you, John Romero. So I had already done a Doom Classics wheel on my Shield TV quite some time ago, and I thought it'd be a good idea for me to revisit it and add Sigil in. So as I've done that, I thought I should really do a video to help you guys understand the Prboom core and how to get this set up on your Shield TV and Hyperspin. It's a little bit of a tricky one. So what we're going to do, I'll put a link in the description, but we need to understand about the Prboom core. This is where libretro docs comes in. I know you guys aren't silly, you can read, but there's just some little bits and pieces that I do want to cover. So I talk about having a BIOS file, this prboom.wad. That's in blue. That means it's a hyperlink. We can click that and it will take us to the GitHub website and we can download this file. It says it's required, so probably a good idea we grab that first before we do anything else. Then starts talking about extensions, content that can be loaded by the Prboom core. Well, this is the games. Don't ask me for the game files. You should own them anyway because it's an all-time classic Doom. But yeah, Doom has its own WAD file, so does Doom 2, and Sigil does as well. So you do require those files. There's all sorts of other WAD files as well to modify Doom, but I'm only worrying about the essentials. It talks about the Prboom core itself. We need to grab that through RetroArch. There's an online updater. Make sure you update your core info files. There's an option there. It's very simple. If you've already got the core, just make sure you do update it because they've worked it over recently to add support for Sigil. So as we go down, they start talking about the directories. We won't worry about that because I'm going to cover that in on the Shield TV in a little bit. They talk about the music, and this is interesting. I do want to talk about it because it says that the MIDI format music is not working. You need to use MP3 files for Doom 1 and Doom 2. So you can imagine my surprise when I got Sigil working and the MIDI music was playing. I didn't have the Buckethead soundtrack as MP3. I thought, well, I wonder if I take away these MP3 files from Doom and Doom 2, will I hear the MIDI music? And sure enough, I did. Now, to me, the MIDI music sounds much better than the PlayStation's Doom music. So taking away all those MP3 files from Doom and Doom 2 saved me getting on for about 400 megabytes of storage. And that might not sound like a lot, but to me, that's a Dreamcast game. So I don't need MP3s wasting space. They're now gone off the Shield TV. There's more for you to read, but we've essentially covered the basics. So we can get on to the more serious stuff. So probably best I cover this now because some of you might be thinking, how the hell are you accessing your Shield TV from your PC? So what you need to do on the Shield TV, go into settings, go to storage, enable transferring files over a network. It's a little option to tick. When you do that, you'll be given some login information that's unique to you. Make a note of it. You're going to need it later. Many of us use Windows 10 now. We're kind of forced into it. And you need SMB1. It might not be enabled for you and you're not seeing it on your network, your Shield, and you don't know what's going on. So go to your little search bar and search for Add or Remove Windows Features. Once that's opened up, you can look for SMB1, give it a tick if it needs it, let it install the feature, restart your PC, restart the Shield TV. Hopefully it will then show up on a network. You can put your login credentials in and off we go. So yes, we need to go to the Hyperspin website to get some media and files, and we need to go to EMU Movies to get the video snaps. So it's very useful to be able to just easily transfer it from a PC directly to the Shield over the network. So what we're going to do, we'll start talking about the databases in Hyperspin. First of all, so we have a main menu folder, and this really does confuse people, so we'll get it out of the way. They say, well, I've got the games, I've got the media, I just don't understand why I don't see it on the Hyperspin menu. Well, you've not edited this main menu _ Android XML. We see Doom Classics there is wedged between Data East Classics and Irem Classics. How you list these is how it's going to show on the main menu. So order them as you so please, but it's important that you edit this file or you're just never going to see it in a Hyperspin. So as we go back to databases, they're mostly systems, so we'll call Doom Classics a system, and it has got its own XML file in there. That's called Doom Classics. How it's spelled, very important. that all this stuff matches. Hyperspin's very fussy. So the Doom Classics XML is really a database file. They're usually to list all the games for a particular system. The reason this one's quite tricky is we're dealing with subdirectories, which Hyperspin on Android hates. I really don't like doing this folder trick. I try to avoid it whenever possible, but we need to use it for Doom, and it works for Quake as well. So once you understand Doom, you can do Quake. What I'll do, I'll copy and paste this into the Hyperspin forum. I've got a thread going, so I'll put a link in the description. But just so you understand what's going on, we see Doom, capital D, and then the rest in lowercase. That's the folder. Then we've got the /, and after that, the capital Doom is the name of the WAD file. So that's for Doom 2, Sigil as well. When you're doing Quake, they're pack files. They're not WAD files, but it's the same principle. ID1 is the folder, and then pack1 is the name of the pack file. And I've done the expansions, so you can see the folders and then the pack files listed afterwards. So once you've got the basics of Doom, if you fancy doing Quake, you can move on and do that as well. So I have a Doom Classics ini. This lives in the Settings Androids folder. You have an ini file for every system. This is what tells Hyperspin what to do for the system. So ROM path. So yeah, put the games where you like, but you need to know where they are. So I put them inside the Hyperspin folder. Don't have to, but this is what I do. I've done a ports folder, as it was said in the libretro doc. So that's where all those Doom, Doom 2 and the Sigil folders are. Execute line is for RetroArch, obviously. The ROM extension is WAD. The parameters, we're telling it to use the Prboom call. So again, I will copy and paste this into the Hyperspin forum. I'm fairly certain with the folder trick that ROMs only true does not work, which is why I like to avoid using this whenever possible. If you're trying to do this for a disk-based system like the PlayStation, you would need to heavily edit your PlayStation XML database file, because it's just going to show games that you don't necessarily have. So unless you're copying everything across, it's a bit of a headache. So once you've got that, you're pretty much on your way. You should have had the games and you've got RetroArch set up, but what we need to worry about is the media as well, and the folder trick has quite a nasty knock-on effect. So we'll just quickly go into the ROMs, just so you can see my ports folder. So there's Doom, there's the game, the Doom WAD, there's the Prboom WAD BIOS file, there's Doom 2. Notice all the MP3 files are gone, don't need them anymore, that's awesome. So there's Sigil. So there's the Doom WAD, we need that. There's the Sigil WAD and the Prboom WAD. And I have said keep Sigil well away from Doom 2 WADs, it causes issues. But we're in subdirectories, there's no Doom 2 WAD, everything should be fine. But yeah, it's the media we need to talk about. So main menu, you're going to have a theme for Doom Classics, you're going to have a video snap for that, but we'll come into the Doom Classics folder, because this is where the problem is with the folder trick. If we go into images, we'll normally we just have PNG files in here. Because of the folder trick, everything has to have its own folder. So Doom Alt is the original clear logo, but Doom is what I'm using. I've created borders for it. This literally is a knock-on to every single thing. So themes as well, they need to be put in their own folder. You can't just have the zip files in here. And again for the video. So yeah, I've made up my own theme. I borrowed assets from the original Doom theme, took the Doom guy, took the wallpaper for Sigil, stretched that out to 1920 by 1080, got the logo, changed that to white. It's quite basic, but it works. The video snap is actually RetroArch's demonstration of Sigil, but in this video the music isn't playing, so this is wrong. I want to change it. I'll record it on the Shield TV because I've got the MIDI music playing. So when I'm happy with this, I'll release it on the Hyperspin forums, and I'm pretty sure the more dedicated content creators will do a much better job of it than me. But yeah, I had to create some wheel art and do this theme and sort out a video snap for this all to work. But the important thing is you understand how the games run themselves, and once you've understood this, you can move on to Quake. Go over to the Hyperspin website and you can grab all sorts of assets there. EMU Movies does the video snap. So yeah, just a quick big thank you to all the content creators that do this stuff for us, because I know it's a lot of work and I really do appreciate what they do. So that's it in essence, guys. have fun with it. Yeah, thanks for watching the video, and yeah, whatever you choose to do after watching this, have a great day, have a great evening, and I'll see you when I see you next. Ciao for now.